Chapter 31 Don't Eat Rats. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At the same time, there is a white shadow flying in the wind, and the surrounding scenery is also changing crazily. It's so scary. That two-legged beast is really scary. Thinking of the shocking scene just now, the white-haired mouse couldn't help but feel palpitations in his heart, feeling a kind of fear deep in his soul. In its eyes, the patriarchs of the 6 tribes who were at the top of the food chain in the secret realm were killed so easily by the opponent. If he didn't run away, his end would probably be even worse. It's strange to say that the body was obviously injured before, but it didn't take long to heal. What's going on? Is it because of eating that fruit? Oh, no matter what, the most urgent thing to do is avoid that two-legged beast. The white-haired rat hid here and there, its eyes twitching and its nose moving slightly, sniffing the surrounding smells. Suddenly, it sensed something was wrong and felt a familiar smell approaching quickly. No, that two-legged beast is here to catch me. The white-haired rat was so frightened that its fur was all over its body. It swung its limbs desperately and flew through the woods like a hurricane. Swish. Tearing ripples appeared in the void. Ye Junlin used the Great Void technique to cross the void and quickly approach the target. Tongzi, is that mouse in front? Ding, that's right, if the host works harder, he will be able to catch up with it soon. The system beep sounds. This rat can really run. If I hadn't had a system, I would have let it slip away. Ye Junlin found this sneaky white-haired rat quite interesting. He suddenly had a bad taste and wanted to catch it and prank it. It's over, why are you still chasing me? How does this two-legged beast know where Ratsucker is hiding? The white-haired rat was going crazy inside. It felt that it was so unlucky that it was just passing by to eat a fruit, which led to a series of life-threatening pursuits. Zhu Shu just wants to live a good life, why are you all hurting Shu Shu? White-haired Shu felt very broken. Boom. There were strong fluctuations in the sky overhead, a huge pressure suddenly enveloped him, and the white-haired mouse felt as if there was a mountain on his body. It was so pressed that it was difficult to move, and there was a suffocating feeling in the chest. Squeak. The white-haired rat struggled desperately, and finally its limbs were lifted off the ground and suspended in the air. It turned out that the tail behind its butt was picked up by a big hand condensed with magic power. Swish, Ye Junlin landed in front of it and looked at it with interest. The white-haired rat was stared at by the silver-haired young man with chills running down his back, thinking that the two-legged beast was definitely going to eat him. Suddenly, the white-haired rat was so anxious that he begged for mercy. The rat's meat tastes sour and very, very unpalatable. Please let Rat go. Is your meat sour? Ye Junlin raised his eyebrows. It's true. Please believe Shu Shu. Shu Shu's meat tastes very bad. If you eat it, you will keep farting. The white-haired mouse said excitedly, thinking there was a chance. Ye Junlin rubbed his chin and showed an evil smile. Jijia, hearing you say that makes me want to try it even more. He kept getting closer, his expression extremely ferocious. Squeak. The white-haired rat's eyes widened, and finally its pupils gradually became dilated, its head tilted and it fainted, with foam flowing out of its mouth. Did you faint from fright? Ye Junlin was dumbfounded and poked its face gently with his fingers. He found that there was no reaction and his expression became very strange. According to the system, this white-haired rat possesses the great Luo immortal physique, which is the strongest among all the immortal physiques. Who would have thought that he would be so cowardly, so intimidated? Forget it, just keep it as a pet rat. Ye Junlin picked up the white-haired rat by its tail and casually threw it next to the boulder. After half an hour, the white-haired mouse twitched its nose slightly and woke up unsteadily. It's delicious. The scent wafting in the air made the white-haired mouse wake up instantly. Is Shu Shu not dead yet? The white-haired rat poked his head and looked around curiously. Suddenly, it froze in place. Not far away, there sat a handsome young man in a black robe embroidered with gold. His long silver-white hair was hanging down, and each hair strand shone with snow-white light. At this time, he was skillfully turning over the meat over a fire. The meat was roasted until it was golden and crispy, emitting bursts of mouth-watering meat aroma. There is also a big pot next to it, and something is cooking in the pot, which is delicious. Could it be? The white-haired rat lowered its head in fright, and kept groping with its two little hands. After confirming that the meat was not from its body, it breathed a sigh of relief, seeing that the other party was still concentrating on the barbecue. The white-haired mouse suddenly had the idea of escape in his mind. It tiptoed, just thinking about getting away. "Come here, don't let me catch you again." A calm voice came softly, although the sound was not loud, in the ears of the white-haired rat. It was like thunder from the sky. "Senior." The white-haired rat slowly came to Ye Junlin's side in fear. Suddenly, his eyes quietly shifted to the meat, saliva flowed from the corner of his mouth, and his stomach growled. Ye Junlin glanced angrily. "Look at your potential, come on, I'll give you this." Throwing a piece of roasted crispy meat over, the white-haired rat quickly caught it with both hands, and immediately gobbled it up without thinking. Crispy and numb, tender and juicy, the white-haired rat's eyes were filled with little stars, and he felt an overwhelming sense of happiness in his heart. The tail behind his buttocks was so high that it almost reached the sky. "What kind of meat is this? I've never eaten it before," Ye Junlin said quietly. "Rat meat." White-haired rat. Looking at the shocked white-haired rat, Ye Junlin laughed loudly and flicked its forehead. "Fool, this is rabbit meat." "It turns out to be rabbit meat." The white-haired mouse licked his lips. "Rabbit is so pitiful, but it's also delicious." It thought of something and said tentatively, "Senior, do you really not know how to eat rats?" White-haired Shu still had doubts about Ye Junlin's motives. Ye Junlin said amusedly, "Why should I eat you? If I really wanted to harm you, you would have been lying in the pot cooking by now." He stretched out his hand and pointed at the crispy meat rolling and steaming on the water in the large pot. "See," the white-haired rat swallowed, and the stone in his heart fell to the ground. "Senior, Shu believes in you. Can you give Rat another bite of meat?" Heard. Ye Junlin smiled and said, "Yes, but the first step is to be my apprentice." "Are you willing?" The white-haired rat was stunned. "Accept him as his apprentice? This is even more surprising than eating it." "Senior, would it be dangerous to be your apprentice?" The white-haired rat was a little embarrassed. "It just wants to stay in the forest and live a carefree life." Ye Junlin coughed a few times and said seriously, "As my apprentice, you can eat delicious food as you like, and if you are in danger, you will have a teacher to stand up for you." "Are you sure you don't want such a good thing?" Hearing this, the white-haired rat was heartbroken. "Yes. Yes. Shu wants to be senior's apprentice." It raised its little hand and said excitedly. "Then why don't you meet the master soon?" Ye Junlin looked solemn. "Disciple Bai Xiaoxi, pay homage to master." The white-haired rat prostrated himself on the ground like a human being and said excitedly. "Well, get up." Ye Junlin nodded in satisfaction. At this time, the system prompt sounded in my mind. Ding, congratulations to the host for completing the task of recruiting a disciple, the reward. Chapter 32 The Secret Realm Collapses. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ding, congratulations to the host for completing the task of recruiting a disciple, and will be rewarded with the supreme magical power, the 5-pole reincarnation Great Destruction Technique. 5-pole reincarnation Great Destruction Technique. Nothing is indestructible, and it can cause extremely large-scale covering damage. Another killing move, wide and wide. Ye Junlin nodded. As the saying goes, having too many skills is not too much. The system beep continues to sound. Ding, the apprentice's qualifications have been detected, and this system comes with a copy of the Great Luo Tao Sutra. Ding, all the rewards this time have been distributed. I hope the host and the apprentice get along well. Never abuse small animals. Ye Junlin said angrily, Tongzi, you are so careless and careless. With my noble character, how could I do such a thing? System. Master, are you talking to Shu? Bai Xiaoxi raised her head and asked doubtfully. Ye Junlin touched his nose and said, Ahem, I will teach you a technique now. You must cherish it and practice hard to become a good fighter for the teacher. Oh no, a good apprentice. Stretching out his hand and tapping lightly, a ball of light sank into Bai Xiaoxi's sea of consciousness. Boom. Bai Xiaoxi's eyes widened, and her whole body seemed to have been struck by lightning. this De Luo Tao Sutra is all-encompassing and mysterious, giving it a feeling of enlightenment, and it will no longer be muddled. Only then did Bai Xiaoxi realize that he had received a great blessing. Thank you, Master, for giving me the Dharma to Shu Shu. Bai Xiaoxi bowed to the ground excitedly, this time far more sincerely than before. The meat is cooked. Eat it quickly. Ye Junlin smiled and spooned a bowl of broth to the white-haired rat. Aha! Bai Xiaoxi reached out to catch it, sniffed it, and couldn't wait to taste it. Delicious. After drinking, Bai Xiaoxi felt warm all over, with a satisfied smile on her lips. It is used to being alone in the forest, and it is surrounded by dangers. It rarely has such a comfortable and relaxing moment. Master is so kind to Shu Shu. I am so lucky to be Master's disciple. Shu Shu must repay Master well in the future. Bai Xiaoxi secretly vowed. Suddenly, there was a shaking sound throughout the Luo Tian's secret realm. The extremely unreal blue sky above our heads was being shattered visibly to the naked eye. What happened? Ye Junlin stood up in shock. Ding, it has been detected that the life of the great Luo immortal tree has come to an end and it is unable to maintain the operation of the secret realm. Now the secret realm is collapsing. Please leave the host as soon as possible. Master, Shu Shu feels so sad. Bai Xiaoxi was also startled. The strange thing was that she didn't feel panic, but felt very sad inside. Her eyes turned red and she shed 2 lines of tears. Ye Junlin frowned, feeling that Bai Xiaoxi's behavior was a bit abnormal, but the urgent need to delay the delay is to get out as soon as possible. Let's go. Whoa, Ye Junlin took it to tear through the void and hurried towards the exit of the secret realm. The scenery changes rapidly along the way, and you can see collapsed mountains and rivers, and rows of fallen towering trees. The earth was violently torn apart, and the sky was like a shattered mirror. This ancient secret realm that had lasted for who knows how many years finally came to an end today. Roar! In all directions, there were howls of ferocious beasts. There is no doubt that the indigenous people here have been hardest hit. Get out! Get out quickly! Countless monks fled toward the exit in panic. It is densely packed and the scene is very spectacular. Sect Master, I didn't expect such a thing to happen here. The Master of Hidden Sword Peak looked ugly. Su Yonyan said in a deep voice, what we have to do is to escort the Shentian sect disciples to escape as soon as possible to ensure that the number of casualties is reduced to a minimum. Where's junior brother Yi? The Master of Tianxiang Peak said worriedly. As soon as he finished speaking, Ye Junlin appeared using the Great Void technique and said seriously, everyone, the situation is critical, let's leave quickly. Junior brother Yi, everyone was in high spirits. Hey, what a big rat. The Master of Hidden Sword Peak said in surprise, I saw a white-haired rat being held in Ye Junlin's hand, with red eyes and a lost look. This is my new apprentice. Ye Junlin introduced. Apprentice? Everyone was surprised. When did junior brother Yi become so outrageous? The previous apprentice, although not very good-tempered, was as beautiful as a fairy and had extraordinary talents. Now this white-haired rat is ordinary and stupid. How can he be valued and accepted as an apprentice? Okay, let's go. Su Yonyan suppressed the confusion in his heart and said in a deep voice, at this time, a large number of monks from the wilderness evacuated quickly, including the aborigines of the secret realm. With their instinct to escape, they also rushed towards the exit under the guidance of their elders, rumbling, the sky is shattering and the earth is shattering, as if the end is coming. After successfully breaking out of the secret realm, the monks who had a chance to escape were in shock. Damn it, what a bad luck. Hong Qianye was very eye-catching in red clothes. He was suspended in the air with his arms folded, feeling very unhappy inside. Fortunately, some rare treasures of heaven, materials and earth were collected in time, which was enough for him to achieve the fusion realm in the future, which was considered a gain. In the team, among them, Ouyang Feng was high-spirited. He found an opportunity and gained a lot from it. He suddenly felt that he was capable again. Thanks to God's blessing, I am destined to skyrocket to miles. Ouyang Feng stroked his beard and sighed with a flushed face. At this time, he saw the fiery red figure and recalled the opponent's aggressive killing posture before, and suddenly felt impressed by the charm. Suppressing the heat in his heart, Ouyang Feng took out a comb made of thousand-year-old spiritual wood from his arms and combed his hair carefully. Then, he pretended to be calm and greeted him, and said with a respectful tone, "Senior, I am Ouyang, the ancestor of the Moving Mountain sect." "Roll." Hong Qinya said coldly. Now that he has a good temper, he would be like the one he used to be in the Central Territory, where whenever someone with ulterior motives came to get close to him, he would just kill without hesitation. Ouyang Feng was embarrassed and had to leave angrily. Outside the secret realm, a group of figures appeared. "Ye Tianjun is out." "Ye Tianjun!" Shouts went up. Hong Qinya flashed forward knowingly, cupped her hands and said, "Master." Ye Junlin nodded, picked up Bai Xiaoxi and threw him over. "This is my new disciple. You will love each other from now on, do you understand?" "What?" Looking at the white-haired rat in front of her, Hong Qinya's eyes flashed with astonishment, and she felt an instinctive feeling of rejection in her heart, but due to the occasion, Hong Qinya had no choice but to bite the bullet and said, "Yes, master." "Where is Shu Shu?" Bai Xiaoxi opened her eyes wide and looked around at the outside environment, feeling not only novel but also a little scared. Then it thought of something, turned around and looked at the secret realm, and said sadly, "Shu Shu's home is gone." Boom! At this moment, many strange creatures emerged in the secret territory, and their powerful momentum was like a storm sweeping across, causing the expressions of the monks from Huangzhou present to change. According to ancient rumors, is this the world outside the secret realm? A creature with horns said in a muffled voice. How can the spiritual energy here be so thin? A snake creature said in disgust. Well, since you have come to a new environment, you must learn to adapt. Another powerful creature said. I propose to occupy this area first and then redivide the territory. Huh? Are these two-legged beasts the human race in the records? I feel like their cultivation is so weak. Huh, let's enslave them first. After the aborigines who escaped from the Luotian secret realm came to the outside world, the primitive wildness hidden in their bodies exploded. They are watching eagerly, and their hearts are ready to move. No, they are going to attack us. Ouyang Feng was terrified. In the Kunlun world, there are many races and there are so many kinds of creatures, and those who thrive in the Luotian secret realm have more or less the blood of ancient relics, coupled with the natural environment of the secret realm suitable for cultivation. A group of alien creatures with strong cultivation abilities were created. For example, right now, Ouyang Feng clearly felt that there were thousands of spirit transformation auras in this team, and there were more than 60 combination realms. In addition, there are countless nascent souls and golden elixirs. If this group of alien creatures gathered together, they would be comparable to the top 10 cultivation forces in the East domain. Don't be afraid, everyone, we have Ye Tianjun. Someone shouted, swish swish. Countless fanatical eyes focused on the silver-haired young man. After all, only Ye Junlin here has reached the fusion realm, and his invincible posture before showing off his power is obvious to all. Can this guy handle it? Thoughts turn. Hong Qinya glanced at Ye Junlin from the corner of her eyes, looking at Ye Junlin with his hands behind his back. His expression was calm, as if he had everything under control. It seems to be all right. At this time, Ye Junlin looks as stable as an old dog, but in reality his psychological activities are extremely rich. Fuck. 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 What's the situation? Less than, % of the mana left in the labor and management bodies is now. Why are you guys causing trouble at this time? Ye Junlin didn't expect that such a big crisis would be waiting for him. Ding, trigger a new mission and let 100,000 natives of the Luotian secret realm join the Shantian sect. The host will get the desired reward. The system beep sounds. Ye Junlin was startled and was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood on the spot. Tongzi, do you think this is realistic? Ye Tianjun. Who is Ye Tianjun? A powerful creature with silver wings roared angrily. He. Countless people said in unison, pointing their fingers at Ye Junlin. Ye Junlin. Chapter 33 All Aborigines Surrender. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Are you the Ye Tianjun they call him? The most capable person here? The silver-winged creature said with an unkind expression, boom. Ye Junlin didn't say anything. He took a step forward and released the perfect cultivation level of the fusion realm. There is no doubt that this group of aliens was indeed frightened. After all, the perfection of the fusion realm is already the ceiling of the Luo Tian's secret realm. What are you afraid of? He's the only one, that a creature in the fusion realm shouted. That's right, more than 60 fusion realm creatures came out, and the coercion released by the combination was overwhelming. My God, countless people were so frightened that they knelt on the ground and trembled. Ye Junlin, who was at the center of the storm, twitched the corners of his mouth. Well, that doesn't work, but what's interesting is that seeing a strong man who has perfected the fusion realm, these alien creatures have restrained themselves a little. In any case, they are still quite fearful, but if you delay like this, something will happen sooner or later. Just when Ye Junlin had a headache, Bai Xiaoxi's body suddenly changed, boom. A vast ancient sacred aura burst out from its body, its original ruby-like eyes turned into brilliant golden yellow, and a simple mark appeared on its forehead, which released terrifying energy fluctuations. Xiaoxi, you? Ye Junlin was stunned. What's wrong with this mouse? Hong Qianye's face changed drastically. In an instant, in the midst of countless stunned gazes, the figure of the white-haired rat was suspended in the air, as if its whole body was enveloped in a golden sun. This is the aura of the great Luo immortal tree. Foreigners reacted one after another, with deep awe in their eyes. To know, the most untouchable thing in the Luo Tian's secret realm is the great Luo immortal tree that maintains the entire secret realm. In the hearts of the creatures of all races, this is equivalent to God. I thought that the entire secret realm was going to collapse, and that the great Luo immortal tree was also doomed. Unexpectedly, I felt that familiar and close aura from a white-haired rat again. Like a swaddled baby returning to its mother's arms. You, Daluo immortal tree has not abandoned us. Ask the great Luo immortal tree to guide your people. How should they go in the future? Ask for the protection of the fairy tree. Cries came and went, hundreds of thousands of alien creatures knelt down to worship, even the fusion realm bosses were no exception. They all knelt at Bai Xiaoxi's feet. They were very emotional and had tears in their eyes. Fuck, Su Yonyan and the others looked shocked, almost suspecting that they were hallucinating. Junior brother Ye's new disciple this time has such a big background. Even the well-informed Hong Qianye was shocked by this scene. Only then did he realize that this white-haired rat had a huge opportunity. Glancing at the calm Ye Junlin, Hong Qianye said secretly, sure enough, everything is in your plan. I know you are not that simple. At this time, Ye Junlin was in a state of shock, recalling that I noticed something strange about Bai Xiaoxi before. All kinds of speculations in my heart immediately started to increase. Could it be that the Daluo immortal fruit bred by the Daluo immortal tree is essentially another way for it to resurrect the dead? After Bai Xiaoxi ate it, the Daluo immortal body was born in her body, and at the same time it also possessed some of its remaining will. Now that the will of Daluo immortal tree has revived, is it going to replace Bai Xiaoxi's body control? Ye Junlin frowned. To be honest, this white-haired rat is quite lovable. If his apprentice is replaced by a new will, his attitude will be different. Xiaoxi, are you okay? Answer me quickly. Ye Junlin secretly said anxiously. Bai Xiaoxi, who was suspended in mid-air, had cold eyes, but when this message broke into his mind, it triggered violent fluctuations in his body's spirit. Master is calling Shu Shu. Shu Shu can't sleep. Bai Xiaoxi's eyes struggled, and her body shook like chaff. Finally, its eyes gradually became more alert, and its brain returned to its original state of mind. Master. Bai Xiaoxi obediently landed next to Ye Junlin and held her hands in a graceful gesture. I hope you're okay. Ye Junlin's eyes flashed with relief, and he stretched out his hand to gently touch its head. What? Daluo immortal tree actually worships that human race as its teacher. 100,000 indigenous people were stunned, and their worldview was violently impacted. Okay, Upon noticing this change, Ye Junlin came up with a plan and secretly sent a message to Bai Xiaoxi. Xiaoxi, now do as the teacher says. Bai Xiaoxi seemed to understand. After a while, Bai Xiaoxi coughed a few times and said in a deep voice to the various alien races. The collapse of the secret realm this time is due to the will of heaven, but don't panic, you are all my people, and I will never give up on you. Heard, the aliens were very excited, as if they had found a backbone. At this time, Ye Junlin said calmly, God has the virtue of good life. If this is the case, then let your people join our Xiantian sect and accept our protection. Bai Xiaoxi bowed her hands and said, Thank you, Master. Immortal Tree, you. The silver-winged creature was stunned and did not expect the direction of the situation at all. Are you questioning me? Bai Xiaoxi put her hands behind her back and stared at the other person coldly with her golden eyes. The originally arrogant silver-winged creature immediately felt like ice water pouring over his head, and he lowered his head in fear. I don't dare, little one. Other foreigners also fell silent, because after living in the Luo Tian's secret realm for so long, their submission to the great Luo Immortal Tree was engraved in their bones. In their view, even the Daluo Immortal Tree, which they regard as God, is willing to obey its orders, and as their subjects, they have no need to question it. The crisis of this riot was nipped in the bud just in time. Ding. Congratulations to the host for completing the mission and issuing the reward sundial. Sundial, open the cultivation space. 100 years inside is equivalent to 1 day outside. The system prompt sounded in my mind. Ye Junlin's eyes flashed, and he said in his heart, success. This time it was really thanks to the apprentice I had accepted. I really didn't expect that it would play such a big role at the critical moment. As for the rewards distributed, Ye Junlin was not particularly surprised, because judging from the function description of the sundial, it was at best a training room with a time difference. At first glance, it looks awesome. After 100 years of secluded cultivation, only 1 day has passed outside. But for someone like him, who has a golden finger that can make him strong in the face of strength, this thing is actually quite useless. Since he traveled to this world, he came to enjoy life. With the help of the system, all you have to do is lie flat, and your realm cultivation relies on touching porcelain. Why should you stay in sundial and practice hard? However, just because he doesn't need it, doesn't mean others don't need it. Ye Junlin thought about it. The sundial can be used by people around him. Anyway, his realm will always be higher than others. I'm not dreaming. Are these powerful beings joining the Xiantian sect? The sect leader Su Yonyan was almost knocked unconscious by happiness. His hands were trembling with excitement, and his eyes filled with tears. There are thousands of people who have transformed into gods, and there are more than, people who are in the combined state. The rest are like yawning like a forest, and golden elixir like rain. With such a huge power scale, all of them will be included in Xiantian sect today. Sect Master, from now on, our Xiantian sect will be located in one of the top 10 immortal sects in the eastern region. A Peak Master said with excitement on his face. Xiantian sect disciples were overjoyed. This meant that the sect would be extremely prosperous. That's okay too. Ouyang Feng was dumbfounded, shocked by the sudden increase in Xiantian sect's overall strength. It's too strong. I knew Yi Tianjun could solve the crisis. All the monks from Huangzhou fell to the ground in admiration. The existence that even the powerful foreigners obeyed was actually just the disciple of Yi Tianjun. It's not okay if you don't accept this. Master, Shu Shu did it. They really listened to Shu Shu. Bai Xiaoxi said secretly. Well done, I am very satisfied as a teacher. Yi Junlin asked with concern, speaking of the will of the great Luo Immortal Tree, will it have any impact on you now? Bai Xiaoxi said, no. After Shu Shu woke up, there was no movement behind it. That's it. Yi Junlin nodded. It seems that inheriting part of the will of the great Luo Immortal Tree is not a bad thing for him as a disciple, at least it has certain binding force on this group of aliens. Next, everyone went back home one after another to digest what happened today. The Xiantian sect was also busy settling down this group of aliens. Qingzhou, the golden flying boat rushed into the Yuhua gate. The listless Chen Shao was helped out, which aroused the surprised looks of many disciples of the sect. in their impression, this new holy son was so high-spirited, like a blazing sun that was on an upward trend. How come he was so beaten down and listless after a trip to barren state? Holy son, what are you? The elders of the law enforcement hall quickly stepped forward. He noticed that several important faces were missing from the team, and his heart skipped a beat as an incredible thought crossed his mind. I want to see Master. Chen Zhao's lips turned white and he said weakly. Reporting to the Holy Sun, Venerable Juyang is in retreat. The elder of the law enforcement hall said cautiously, May I ask the Holy Sun what happened? Where are Elder Yen and the other disciples? Chen Zhao smiled miserably and did not respond. People around him cried out sadly, dead. They are all dead. What? Not only the elders of the law enforcement hall were shocked, but other nearby Yuhua sect monks also changed their expressions. Those were 9 inner sect elders, all strong men in the fusion realm. They were so powerful, but they were all buried in a small desert state. Holy Sun, who did it? Tell me quickly so that I can report this matter to the sect, the elder of the law enforcement hall said anxiously. Chen Zhao raised his head, his eyes were covered with scarlet bloodshot eyes, his face was ferocious and twisted, and he gritted his teeth and said. Xiantian Sect. Ye Junlin. Chapter 34 Fame. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When this matter was reported to the sect, there was an explosion inside the Yuhua sect. How is this possible? Even Elder Yen and the others were killed by their enemies. Damn it! If you dare to kill the elders of the Yuhua sect, even the Holy Sun will almost fall. You don't take us seriously at all. Declare war. War must be declared openly. Bloodbath that backward barbarian land. Uproot the sect involved. The roars came one after another, and the terrifying murderous intent rose into the sky, crazily stirring the wind and clouds in the vast sky. This immortal gate that has stood for endless years, a place of worship for countless monks in the eastern region, suddenly erupted with earth-shattering aura fluctuations. The creatures in Qingzhou were as silent as cicadas, and they all cast horrified looks, at the same time. This news swept across like a storm, causing great shock in other states in the eastern region. After all, there were as many outside monks at the scene as stars. After returning home, they would naturally pass on what they saw and heard. Sell newspapers. Sell newspapers. The latest breaking news in the eastern region cultivation world is out. One serving only requires 2 low-grade spiritual crystals. Give me 1. I also want. In major restaurants and tea houses, many people looked at the cultivation world daily in their hands, their eyes almost fell out of their sockets, and they murmured, this. The title is extremely eye-catching. Shock. The Holy Son of Yuhua sect was defeated by a mysterious woman in red. The Yuhua sect killed 9 strong men in the fusion realm, and the murderer was the master of Piamiao Peak from Xiantian sect. Exposed. Xiantian sect is an ancient immortal sect hidden in Huangzhou. Breaking news, Yuhua sect officially declares war on Xiantian sect. Obviously, this incident has had a great impact and has recently become a hotly discussed topic among the monks in the eastern region. The barren state, which once had the weakest sense of existence and was relegated to a backwater, officially gained its reputation because of the Xiantian sect. As for Xiantian sect, its status in the eastern region has also increased. As for Ye Junlin, the leader of Piamiao Peak, he has become the center of attention. This feeling is equivalent to a pond full of shrimps, and a real dragon flying for 9 days suddenly emerges. Shocked. My dear, the world has changed. I will no longer dare to laugh at the people of Huangzhou as country bumpkins. They even dare to kill the strong men of the Yuhua sect. The Xiantian sect has a few tricks up its sleeve, but if we face the Yuhua sect, I don't think there will be any suspense in this battle. Yes, that is the top cultivation force. The immortal Holy Land where true immortals were born in a long time ago, its background is extremely terrifying. Various sects, dynasties, aristocratic families, or casual cultivators among the people all agreed that the Xiantian sect would die, and that guy named Ye Junlin would definitely end up very miserable. in the 14 states of the eastern region, no one can withstand the anger from the Yuhua sect. Florida, Hanging Temple, a group of core monks sat cross-legged and put their hands together, the aura on their bodies is ethereal, carrying the Zen spirit of great perfection and freedom. Amitabha, since the Yuhua sect has declared war, we, the Xiankong Temple, will also punish evil and promote good, so that the Xiantian sect will pay with blood. My Buddha is merciful. Soon, Xiankong Temple also announced the news. They directly declared that the Xiantian sect was evil, and at the same time labeled Ye Junlin a white-haired devil, and claimed that people with lofty ideals would go to crusade. As the top meditation force in Florida, its appeal is self-evident. Many meditation practitioners are filled with indignation and are ready to slay demons and achieve enlightenment. The eastern region was filled with strong fighting spirit, and countless monks were frightened. They are about to witness with their own eyes a large-scale war that is rare in 10 years. Barren state, since the Luotian's secret realm was shattered, highly concentrated spiritual energy leaked out crazily. As the saying goes, everything comes into being when a whale falls. This originally barren and barren dojo began to glow with vitality. Many living beings have benefited from this, and their cultivation has improved by leaps and bounds. After all, the spiritual energy of the world in Huangzhou was thin in the past, which resulted in the generally low level of practitioners. Here, it was very rare to be able to cultivate to the golden elixir, and it was even rarer to reach the nascent soul. But in the future, this phenomenon will undergo earth-shaking changes. Xian Tianzong, since the foreign creatures were incorporated into the sect, the overall strength on the surface has skyrocketed, from a malnourished person to a fat man in one bite. However, after learning the news from the outside world, the senior officials of Xiantian's sect were all gloomy. This move is putting them on the fire. In a few days, the Yuhua sect will attack, and those old bald donkeys from the Xiankong Temple actually define us as evil and crooked? It's really deplorable. It's strange. I haven't seen the sect master and other peak masters for several days. Where have they been? It is said that they are practicing in seclusion. Hey, Master Yi is so strong and still practices so hard. This is all for our Xiantian sect. We, the Xiantian sect, are so lucky to have Master Yi here, many people exclaimed. Misty Peak, there was a young man in a black robe sitting lazily on a reclining chair. His long silver-white hair was scattered around his waist, and his eyes were covered by sunglasses. He had an unusual sense of combining modernity with ancient times. At this time, he closed his eyes and rested, quietly enjoying the sunbath. On the workbench at the back, a 1.5-meter-tall white-haired rat was tinkering with something with great interest. When it was done, it put its nose over and sniffed, showing a satisfied smile. Master, Shu has succeeded. The supreme invincible bobo milk tea you wanted is finally ready. Bai Xiaoxi held the milk tea in her hand and ran over excitedly with her little feet. Ye Junlin's expression changed. Quick, put the straw in. Give. Bai Xiaoxi inserted the straw and handed it over. Ye Junlin took a sip of milk tea and exclaimed, "It's so good. This is the taste." That I recently completed the daily check-in task of the system and got a milk tea making encyclopedia. There are 99 recipes for different types of milk tea. If this were left in the past life, it would definitely be a highly confidential business secret. You can create a world-class milk tea shop brand in minutes. Even Snow King has to hand you a cigarette when he comes. He is willing to be his little brother. This almost made Ye Junlin extremely happy, and he quickly asked his second apprentice Bai Xiaoxi to put it into practice. Bai Xiaoxi found it very novel, prepared the ingredients for the recipe, followed the steps and started tinkering, and finally made a finished milk tea with authentic taste. No, this supreme invincible bobo milk tea is one of the more difficult types. Swoosh. Ye Junlin continued to take a sip of milk tea. Xiaoxi, you did a great job. I allow you to make 50 more cups of new products, but this time you can choose any cup to reward yourself. Really? Shu, thanks master. Bai Xiaoxi was very excited and ran to make milk tea. TSK. Seeing this scene, Hong Qinya secretly despised it. This mouse is too stupid. If it is sold someday, it will be paid back to someone else. Xiao Hong, look how motivated Xiaoxi is. You are worse than a mouse, Ye Junlin shouted, where are my spicy squid skewers? Why aren't they ready yet? A trace of displeasure flashed in Hong Qinya's eyes, but was immediately replaced by a smile. Master. Disciple, I will bring it to you right now. Then, carrying a whole plate of spicy squid skewers, he came to Ye Junlin. Hong Qinya half knelt on the ground. Master, please enjoy. Ah. Ye Junlin slowly picked up a skewer, put it in his mouth and ate it, making a squeaking sound. Seeing his eating appearance, Hong Qinya cursed in her heart. However, he still kept a smile on his face. Master, are you still satisfied with the heat? Does the spiciness still need to be adjusted? Ye Junlin said calmly, keep it up. Yes, Master. Hong Qinya thought of something and continued to say tentatively, Master, can you give me the qualification to practice at sundial? My disciple really wants to make progress. This was the 5th time he spoke ever since I learned about the powerful functions of the sundial and that the sect master and the others went to the inner space of the sundial to practice. Thoughts in my mind were like overgrown weeds, and I was eager to go in and improve my cultivation. However, the other party repeatedly rejected his request. Hong Qiba was so angry that she went crazy inside. If it weren't for the reason that he couldn't be beaten, Hong Qinya would definitely fight to snatch her away. Unfortunately, it can only exist in fantasy at the moment. He still has to continue to endure the humiliation and bear the burden and grow insignificantly. Facing the humble request of the chief disciple, Ye Junlin took a sip of milk tea and said angrily, look, it's urgent. Chapter 35 Bai Xiaoxi's Human Form. Eye-catching. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Master, I want to become stronger so that I can protect the sect. Hong Qinya said. It's okay, the sect has me. Then I will become stronger and share the worries of Master. You can pull it down. Hong Qinya finally saw that the other party did it on purpose and would rather let those mediocre people in than give him a chance. Damn it, I think you are afraid that my cultivation level will surpass yours, Hong Qinya said secretly annoyed. Master, since senior brother Hong wants to go so much, just let him go and leave his job to Shu Shu. Suddenly, Bai Xiaoxi's childish voice came. Ye Junlin sighed, I am afraid that you will be too busy as a teacher. It's okay, just leave this to Shu Shu. Think about it. Ye Junlin coughed a few times and said, okay then, I will allow you to practice at sundial. The number of people the sundial can accommodate is extremely limited, and opening it once consumes a lot of resources. It is not without any restrictions. The most important thing is that he doesn't want to give up such free labor. But since Bai Xiaoxi was qualified, Ye Junlin agreed. Thank you, Master. Hong Qinya was happy in her heart. Why are you thanking me? It's your junior brother you want to thank. Ye Junlin reminded. Hong Qinya stood up, cupped her hands towards Bai Xiaoxi and said, thank you, junior brother, for interceding for me. Hey. Bai Xiaoxi scratched her cheek with her fingers, feeling a little embarrassed. Then, Hong Qinya turned and left. There was a sneer on the corner of his mouth, and there was a booming ambition in his chest. Just wait, the day when I come out of seclusion will be when you, Ye Junlin, bow your head. Looking at Hong Qinya's leaving figure, Ye Junlin shook his head and didn't take it to heart at all. Of course Ye Junlin knew what the leader of the demon cult was thinking. He just wants to become stronger urgently, and then perform the drama of becoming a serf and singing. It's a pity that when he encounters strength, he becomes stronger. Don't worry at all. Shu Shu has finally made 50 cups of new products. Which cup should you choose to reward yourself with? Just this cup of burning jelly. Bai Xiaoxi picked up a cup of milk tea, inserted a straw into it and drank it, with a look of satisfaction on her face. Xiaoxi, come here and let me touch you. Good. The 1.5-meter tall white-haired rat took the initiative to move closer. Ye Junlin felt the furry touch and couldn't help but sigh. Others are petting cats, but here I am petting rats. Cat? Where is the cat? Rats are most afraid of cats. Bai Xiaoxi looked around in shock, looking very funny. Ye Junlin couldn't help laughing. This great Luo immortal body is really wasted on you, and you have so many thugs. why are you afraid of cats, possessing the most powerful immortal body in the world, and having the loyalty of hundreds of thousands of powerful foreigners? If this condition is placed on any one person, it will directly open the way to an invincible hegemony. Zhu Shu is just afraid. Bai Xiaoxi scratched his head, Ye Junlin rubbed his chin, why don't you go to Sundial to practice? It's been 100 years inside, and only 1 day has passed outside, Bai Xiaoxi said, Zhu Shu doesn't want it. Even if it's only been 1 day outside, Zhu Shu will not see the master for 100 years inside. Zhu Shu will be sad. Besides, training is really boring. Zhu Shu likes to eat delicious food with master. Hear this, Ye Junlin laughed, this white-haired rat really suits his temperament. Unlike the sinister leader of the demon cult who keeps thinking about replacing him all day long. Correct, Ye Junlin suddenly thought of something, didn't it mean that the demon clan can transform into gods after they have practiced it? Why have I never seen you transform into a human being? Although he doesn't care, it doesn't mean he's not curious. Ye Junlin was still looking at what this silly white-haired rat would look like after it transformed. Bai Xiaoxi was stunned, because Zhu Shu forgot. It has always maintained the image of its original body, and its realm has improved too quickly, and its thoughts have not had time to change, so it has not yet transformed into a human being. Then change now. Ye Junlin smiled bitterly, he was indeed a stupid rat. It is good, Bai Xiaoxi obediently obeyed. Milky white light burst out from its body, and in the shroud of this light, a petite figure in a white skirt with suspenders gradually appeared. Ye Junlin just took a sip of milk tea. After seeing the appearance clearly, he couldn't help but spit it out with a pop. His expression was stunned and he exclaimed, what is this horse-riding thing? She has a petite and exquisite soft body, her skin is as smooth and white as milk, her 2 slender legs are straight, her whole body exudes a youthful and lively atmosphere, and she has a standard petite lolita figure. In the previous life, at least it would be life-threatening, or at worst, death. But now, Ye Junlin felt very uncomfortable in his heart. I saw this petite and exquisite lolita figure with a rat head on her neck, round eyes, and a nervous and childish voice coming out of her mouth. Isn't rat good-looking, Ye Junlin? More than just unsightly. This is too scary. Such a perfect lowly body, but there is a rat head on the neck. Even if you can tell, it's female. But according to human aesthetics, this is simply weird. Xiaoxi, are you trying to be a teacher on purpose? Ye Junlin said depressedly. Absolutely not. Zhu Shu has worked hard to change. Bai Xiaoxi waved her hands quickly, then, it lowered its head in disappointment, but I don't know why it can only stay like this. Zhu Shu feels aggrieved. The corners of Ye Junlin's mouth twitched a few times. It seems that this cheap apprentice like him is really lacking in brains, don't expect too much from it. No, it's okay. Then change back. Ye Junlin rubbed his sore eyebrows, as it is, it's better to stay true to yourself. Okay, Bai Xiaoxi clenched her pink fists and took a deep breath, half a stick of incense passed, and the cry of crows came from the sky. You should change back. Ye Junlin shouted in collapse. Bai Xiaoxi made a sad face. Master, Zhu Shu suddenly lost his ability. Ye Junlin. Are you sure the main body is a mouse? Not a pig? This IQ is really intoxicating. Master, don't worry, Zhu Shu will definitely be able to change back if he tries more in the past few days. Hey, try your best. Ye Junlin felt very tired. He should not have made such a bad start. Who would have thought that the result would be so outrageous? Master, do you still want to continue petting rats? Bai Xiaoxi took the initiative to move closer, her eyes full of anticipation, looking at this weird thing with a rat head and human body in front of him. Ye Junlin suddenly felt that even the milk tea in his hand no longer tasted good. Go away, I want to be quiet. What? Bai Xiaoxi was hurt inside and felt as if she had been abandoned. It had no choice but to run all the way to the lake and carefully examine the reflection on the lake. It scratched the mouse's head with its immature hands and wondered, weird, isn't this pretty? In the next 2 days, Ye Junlin had no choice but to accept Bai Xiaoxi's new image out of helplessness. Just get used to it, this little thing will become more and more unique the more you look at it. Secretly, Ye Junlin comforted himself, boom. At this moment, the entire Eastern Territory was in shock. Countless cultivators cast shocked eyes, looking at the fleet of warships that covered the sky and the sun, heading towards Huangzhou in an unstoppable manner. The target is directly at Xiantian sect. There is no doubt that a large-scale battle that is rare in 10 years has officially begun at this moment. Chapter 36 are the red leaves turning upside down. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Rumbling. Like a warship crossing a river, it shuttled through the void, and the churning clouds and mist were torn into pieces. Looking around, there are many war flags ringing. This group of warships all started out as 9th-grade treasures, containing many powerful formations and emitting a brilliant radiance. A fully charged energy cannon was fired, and the nascent soul stage evaporated on the spot. And even the transformation god almost perished. Every warship was filled with Yuhua sect monks who were waiting in full formation. They were densely packed and filled with a terrifying aura of murder. The boundless sense of oppression enveloped the surroundings, and all creatures in the desert state trembled. It's so scary, this is the Yuhua sect's conquest army. As if silently announcing to the world, anyone who stands in my way will die. Ha ha ha, Xiantian sect is going to be finished. No one can bear the anger of the #1 immortal sect in the eastern region. How domineering that man named Yi was back then, how miserable his death will be this time. He will probably be scared to death. The natives of the deserted state should understand by now that some people are destined not to be offended. There was overwhelming discussion, and all forces in the eastern region were paying close attention. Lingzhou, in a luxurious wing, heartrending screams were heard, and the entire bed was shaking violently. Within the white curtain, there are 2 vague human silhouettes. On the ground around them, women lying like mud were lying in various directions. They were naked, as thin as skin and bones, and all the essence in their bodies had been sucked out. Young master. There's a fight. There's a fight outside. Urgent shouting came from outside the house. The attendant excitedly opened the door and looked at the unconscious female monk lying on the ground. He was so frightened that he could not help but shudder and secretly smacked his tongue. Young master is so fierce, that the screaming stopped abruptly. A sullen voice came from within the curtain. Bitch, you'd better tell me clearly who started the fight outside. Otherwise, I will twist off your head and throw it into the pit to feed the maggots. The attendant's scalp was numb and he quickly said, yes, it's the Yuhua sect. Just now, the Yuhua sect's army has invaded Huangzhou. What did you say? The curtain was opened by a big hand, and Xue Tianyi walked out with a face full of surprise. As the young master of the Xue family, the top dandy in Lingzhou and the eastern region, ever since he returned from failure in Huangzhou, he has secretly harbored a grudge against Ye Junlin, wishing that he would fall into trouble. It's absolutely true, young master. It has been spread outside that the Yuhua sect is serious this time. It is bound to wipe out the Xiantian sect. This is to establish its power. Heard, the corner of Xue Tianyi's mouth raised crazily, and he felt a sense of revenge in his heart. The humble natives are crazier than me, they deserve retribution. I know he will not live long. After saying that, Xue Tian turned around and returned to the bed. Another scream came from the curtains, but it was also mixed with laughter, and the bed shook even more. Why are you still standing there? Get out of here, master. Yes. The attendant swallowed his saliva, lowered his head and retreated with fists in his hands. Barren state. The sky was dark and gloomy for thousands of miles, and the atmosphere was extremely depressing. People everywhere felt their chests were tight and felt like they couldn't breathe. The warships of the Yuhua sect moved forward recklessly, and the huge pressure enveloped all directions like a storm. What a powerful lineup. How many practitioners are deployed? Can Xiantian sect still be able to stop it this time? Yi Tianjun, run away. The monks in Huangzhou turned pale as they looked up at the unstoppable army, and the blood in their bodies felt like it was freezing to the bone. Although I had heard about it for a long time, after witnessing the power of Yuhua sect with my own eyes, the illusion in my heart was suddenly shattered, replaced by deep fear and despair. Moving Mountain Sect. Ouyang Feng's pupils shrank, his face was filled with shock, and his hands were trembling slightly. Deep inside, there is an unprecedented fear. I want to ask, would he dare to face such a huge march alone with a sword like he did last time? Ouyang Feng didn't dare to think about it. Yi Tianjun, I beg you not to be brave this time. If it doesn't work, let's just run away. In everyone's opinion, Ye Junlin is the strongest man in Huangzhou and the spiritual leader of all local monks. If he is wiped out, it will undoubtedly be a huge loss. Even if you run away in embarrassment and live quietly, you can still understand. Boom. 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 The sound of the drums was like thunder from the sky, spreading across millions of miles. The mighty worship team, carrying an indomitable momentum, quickly broke into the territory governed by Xiantian's sect. Dang 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 dang. The rapid bell echoed throughout the sect. The enemy has arrived, everyone is on alert. That the disciples, who had been waiting for him for a long time, suppressed the trembling in their hearts, holding the magic weapons and looking at him with vigilant eyes. It would be a lie to say that you are not panicking. After all, what we are facing now is the strongest immortal sect in the eastern region. The enemy is at hand. Where are the sect master and the others? All the elders said anxiously. At this moment, strong energy fluctuations came from the back mountain, and several figures walked out of the inner space of the sundial. The master of Hidden Sword Peak sighed. After 500 years of hard training, I am almost able to break through the integration, but I still can't find the feeling. It seems that practicing in seclusion has its limitations. Are you satisfied? Fortunately, we have the skills and elixirs given by junior brother Yi. Otherwise, let alone 500 years, even if the lifespan is exhausted, it will be difficult to break through the nascent soul in this life. The master of Tianxiang Peak turned over beautifully. Big eye roll. Where is the sect leader? Didn't he come out? That the other peak masters asked curiously. These 7 peak masters, after practicing hard on the sundial for 500 years, have all reached the perfection of spiritual transformation. Boom. A vortex appeared. Su Yonyan stepped out with his hair dancing wildly, his eyes were filled with lightning, and his whole body was surrounded by terrifying thunder and lightning. His cultivation has reached the early stage of fusion realm. Sect Master, you have broken through to the fusion realm. That everyone was surprised. Hey! Unexpectedly, Su Yonyan was not happy at all, but looked worried. In the past, in the fusion realm, he was definitely at the level of a boss, and even in other states in the eastern region, he had faced. However, now that the Yuhua sect is approaching fiercely, what does his achievement mean? The war is coming, and we can only fight to the death. Su Yonyan's eyes were filled with confidence and he said in a deep voice, swish. Suddenly, the sundial stopped running, and a figure was forcibly teleported out. Anyone else? Su Yonyan and the others were a little surprised. In an instant, the terrifying power suddenly enveloped them, and Su Yonyan and the others suddenly felt chills all over their bodies, and their hearts felt hairy. This is. Within sight, Hong Qianya clasped her hands behind her back and stepped out. Her beautiful face was cold, and her whole body had the aura of a stranger approaching suddenly. Between the eyebrows, the scarlet flame mark adds a different kind of unique charm, typical male body and female appearance. At this time, he was walking step by step, and each step was filled with burning flames. With his appearance, the surrounding temperature increased rapidly, as if he felt like he was in magma. Who do I think it is? It turns out to be junior brother Ye's eldest apprentice. The master of Hidden Sword Peak greeted him enthusiastically with a smile on his face. It's true that a tiger father has no dog son. Your master and disciples' talents are abnormal. Tell me, uncle, what state have you reached? Tiger father has no dog son. Hong Qianya felt humiliated, and veins popped out on her forehead. She stabbed him with a cold gaze and said in a cold voice, how presumptuous. What are you talking about? Puff. The master of Hidden Sword Peak felt like he had been hit hard by a heavy hammer on his chest, and a large mouthful of blood spurted out from his mouth. He took a few steps back in a panic, feeling a great sense of fear in his heart, as if he was on the verge of death. Senior brother Jian. Everyone hurriedly supported him and looked at Hong Qianye in shock and anger. Junior brother Yi, this apprentice, has such a surly temperament. The peak master of Tianxiang Peak raised his eyebrows and said dissatisfied, Hong Qianye, your uncle Jian was just a slip of the tongue. We are in the same sect after all, so why bother to slander him? Fellow disciple. Haha. Hong Qianye sneered, after all, I am a giant in the demonic way, a true immortal level powerhouse, and one that you ants can cling to. From beginning to end, in Hong Qianye's heart, except for Ye Junlin, the entire Xiantian sect was an insignificant figure. If it weren't for that guy, he wouldn't have stayed here. What's your attitude? Be careful, I'll complain to junior brother Yi. The master of Tianxiang Peak was so angry that he stamped his feet and his chest trembled wildly. Whatever you want, I don't pay attention to him at all. Anyway, that guy can't protect himself now. Hong Chiba crossed her arms with a playful smile on her lips. Such treasonous words made everyone present look at each other, and you could see each other's astonishment in their eyes. Is this still the disciple who usually obeys every word in front of junior brother Yi? Chapter 37. You have a strong taste. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Okay. Su Yonyan's face was full of solemnity. Now he is in the early stage of integration, but in front of Hong Qianye, he feels like he is dwarfed by the big one, coupled with the other party's uncharacteristic words and deeds. Su Yonyan had an ominous premonition in his heart. Hong Qianye was too lazy to pay attention to these people. She turned her head and looked into the depths of the forbidden area, her eyes flashing with cold light. Rather than leaving this supreme treasure here to waste, it would be better to give it to me for use. As he said that, he suddenly stretched out his hand, and the big red fire hand condensed into shape, and he was about to take away the sundial in the forbidden area. Bold! What are you doing? This scene caused everyone to stop him in shock and anger. Get out of here! A cold and ruthless voice came from the mouth, and the terrifying cultivation aura burst out instantly. You! Several peak masters looked horrified and were forced to lie on the ground. As gods, they didn't even have a chance to get up. As for Su Yonyan, who was in the early stage of the fusion realm, he could barely maintain a half-kneeling position. Big beads of sweat fell from his forehead, and his face was full of disbelief. He said with difficulty, this person has such a strong demonic nature. What is the background of this apprentice that junior brother Yi has accepted? A bunch of rabble. Hong Qianye sneered and was about to take the sundial away by force. Sudden, he was stunned. No matter how hard he tried, the sundial did not move at all, as if it was not affected by external forces. How is this going? Hong Qianye felt annoyed in her heart. If Ye Junlin sees it, he will definitely laugh like a goose. This sundial is a special prize given by the system. No one can take it away without permission except for him who can dispose of it at will. Hong Qianye, you are junior brother Ye's disciple and the most outstanding genius of the sect. The sect will definitely cultivate you vigorously. Why do you do such a dirty deed? Su Yonyan gritted his teeth and said. He released terrifying lightning all over his body, but he resisted the pressure and stood up little by little, glaring angrily. Bastard, who are you? I still need you to teach me. Hong Qianye threw down her sleeves impatiently and scolded, boom. Su Yonyan slipped back more than 10 feet, then covered his chest and half knelt on the ground, blood dripping from the corners of his mouth, and his eyes were filled with horror. What kind of cultivation is this? Just a casual blow, and he had no chance to fight back. At this moment, Su Yonyan looked at the fiery red figure, his heart trembling. Terrible. Compared with before entering the sundial, the opponent now is simply unfathomable. Metropolitan, everyone shouted anxiously. They didn't expect that junior brother Ye's apprentice would betray him at the critical moment. Humph, even a mere ant dares to point fingers at me. I didn't kill you just now, which is my greatest kindness. Hong Qianye's voice was cold and ruthless, his eyes were full of contempt, and his attitude was aloof, as if all living beings were dust in his eyes. This. Su Yonyan's scalp was numb, and he had a sense of déjà vu facing a demonic giant, and panic emerged in his heart. However, At this moment, a murderous shout came from outside the sect. The Yuhua sect army is here. Why don't the culprit Ye Junlin get out and die? Heard Su Yonyan and their faces changed. Hong Qinya sneered, it's time to show off with that guy. Swish, the whole person disappeared in place. Sect master, we are now. The master of Hidden Sword Peak said bitterly. Follow me quickly and take a look. Su Yonyan couldn't let go and hurriedly set off to follow him. Misty Peak, the silver-haired young man supported his head with his right hand and lay lazily on his side on the bench. A long straw was bent and held in his mouth. As he sucked heavily, the milk tea placed on the table flowed down the straw. Go, those half-closed eyes showed a contented look. Ye Junlin burped and said with emotion, the freedom of milk tea is so cool. Swish, not far away, a powerful figure flashed across. Seeing Ye Junlin's messed up look, Hong Qinya had a look of disdain on his face. This guy really embarrasses the practitioners. Let me ask you, with such a bad style, how can you become an immortal? How can we compete with Dao in the future? Sure enough, it was just pure luck and a great opportunity from a certain ruins, so that he could come up with the coveted skills and treasures, but now, these will all be his. At this time, sensing the arrival of Hong Qinya, Ye Junlin was too lazy to move, still lying on his side, slurping milk tea in his mouth. Good disciple, I miss you as a master. Miss you, sister. Hong Qinya resisted the urge to run away and said coldly, the outside is almost invading to take your life. I didn't expect you to be so tired. Are you not afraid of death? What? Ye Junlin rolled over and sat up, with a blank expression on his face. We've already called you. Why didn't I know? Hong Qinya frowned, as if she had thought of something, and waved her hand with a dark face to remove the sound insulation cover that shrouded her head. In an instant, the sound of drum beating outside was shaking, and there was a strong tendency to attack. Ye Junlin was stunned and quickly released his consciousness. When he saw the mighty warships, his expression was very strange. Oh, so a war is about to begin. Seeing this calm guy, Hong Qinya felt a little depressed and said in a stiff tone. You have seen the current situation, but as long as you hand over what you have obtained to me, I can consider taking action to save your life. What's the matter? Ye Junlin raised his eyebrows. Don't pretend to be stupid for me. We are all smart people. Open the skylight and say something. What the hell is that? Before Hong Qinya finished speaking, she saw a strange creature running over. A pair of red and phoenix eyes widened in surprise, and she couldn't help but spit out the fragrance. I saw that the other party was petite and exquisite, wearing a white suspender skirt. Her exposed skin was delicate and smooth, her snow-white arms were like jade lotus roots, and her two thin legs were round and well-proportioned, but on the neck, there is a rat head very unexpectedly. At this time, it ran over in a hurry, holding the plate in both hands, and making an excited sound in its mouth. Master, these are the Orleans chicken wings you told Shu Shu to make. It's spicy, try it. Then, when it saw Hong Qinya present, it ran over in surprise and said, Hey, senior brother Hong, you got out of seclusion so quickly. You stop. Hong Qinya's scalp was numb and she couldn't help but take 2 steps back. Is this the white-haired rat? How did it change? What a weird look. Is it? As her thoughts turned, Hong Qinya suddenly looked at Ye Junlin, feeling a chill in her heart. Damn it. I didn't expect you to have such a strong taste. Ye Junlin was stunned. What did this look mean? I am an upright gentleman, how can you think wrongly? Malice, full of malice. Senior brother Hong. Bai Xiaoxi lowered his head in grievance, knowing that he looked disgusted. Whoosh whoosh. Several figures landed on Piaomiao Peak. Traitor, what are you going to do to your master? Junior brother Yi, you have to be careful. Su Yonyan and others said anxiously. At this time, their eyes were attracted by the weird figure. Their eyes were so frightened that they almost fell out of their heads. They said with shock on their faces, this is. Don't be afraid, everyone, it's me, Shu Shu. Bai Xiaoxi explained. It turns out he is junior brother Ye's second apprentice. This look is really shocking. Su Yonyan looked strange. Junior brother Yi is not only extremely talented, but his taste is beyond our reach. Other peak masters said with emotion, I know how to play, I really know how to play. Ah. The more Ye Junlin listened, the more he felt something was wrong. Why did he feel that you were hurting me? Chapter 38 I Can Save Your Life. You are listening at novelfull.audio. By the way, what did you mean just now? Ye Junlin quickly changed the topic, fearing that his reputation would be ruined if he continued. Junior brother Yi, your eldest disciple has the intention of treason. He just wanted to take away the sundial and even attacked us, that everyone said anxiously. My good disciple, are they telling the truth? Ye Junlin's eyes flickered and he looked at Hong Qianye meaningfully, being stared at by the silver-haired young man. Hong Qianye's heart trembled, but she quickly regained her composure. He is no longer what he used to be, why should he be afraid of this person anymore? It's time to stand up and call the shots. Hong Qianye raised her chin slightly and said in an almost commanding tone, so what if it's true, what can you do to me? Now that the army is coming and your death is approaching, haven't you understood the current situation? Damn it, you are so ambitious. Junior brother Yi treats you badly. Su Yonyan and the others scolded, shaking with anger. For each sect, the most taboo thing is for a disciple to betray his master, because this will pose a great threat to the internal stability of the sect. You know shit, that the surface of red thousand leaves looks like frost. I have such a noble status, but I am being amused by a junior. I have to do everything in person to rub my shoulders and beat my legs. The most hateful thing is to wash my feet. Every time I think about it, I feel humiliated. Retribution, this is all retribution. Faced with such a situation, Ye Junlin felt shocked at this time and muttered to himself in despair. Don't blame him. It's my fault. I usually ignore my apprentices' feelings. It's all my fault. I really regret it. Ye Junlin's eyes were red, and he beat his chest and feet in grief, looking extremely remorseful. Master. Bai Xiaoxi's nose felt sore. Junior brother Yi. Su Yonyan and the others had incredible expressions on their faces. They had never seen the silver-haired young man look like this. Pretend, continue to pretend. Benny Qianye looked contemptuous. If it hadn't been for this period of time together and seeing the other person's face clearly, he would have been fooled. Xiaohong, Hong, Qianye loves his disciple. I really know that I was wrong, can you forgive me? After all, it's a master-disciple battle, let's start over, okay? Ye Junlin's eyes were filled with hope and he begged cautiously. Hiss! Hong Qianye gasped and had goosebumps all over her body. How could there be such a shameless person? It really refreshed his horizons. Don't even think about it, you make me feel sick, Hong Qianye said in a disgusted tone. How can you think? Ye Junlin was relieved, his face became calm, completely different from his previous performance. A triumphant smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. No one knew that a system notification sounded in his mind. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the temporary mission and being rewarded with the Immortal Overlord Body Technique. Indestructible Hegemonic Body Technique, a supreme skill that combines strength and physical body. If you practice to the top level, you can create an indestructible hegemonic body, which will be powerful forever. The reward is not bad. It's worth the on-site labor and management drama. I completed the optional tasks issued by the system. Ye Junlin said secretly in his heart. Just now, he triggered the system's temporary option task. The first option is to face the betrayal of his apprentice Hong Qianye. As the master, he breaks the defense on the spot and denounces with righteous indignation, and he will receive an immortal-level body tempering pill. The second option is to proactively admit your mistakes. The requirement is that you must put all your emotions into it and make people resonate with you. If you succeed, you will get a piece of the Immortal Hegemon Body Technique. First of all, the Immortal Body Tempering Pill is very rare, but compared with the more valuable Immortal Hegemony Body Technique, its effectiveness seems very small. Because the level of the Immortal Hegemony Body Technique definitely exceeds the Immortal level. Fools know how to choose. Therefore, Ye Junlin directly chose the second option and started to show off his acting skills in front of everyone. Now that the technique was successfully obtained, Ye Junlin naturally tore off his disguise and returned to his previous calm and relaxed appearance. He sat lazily on the recliner, picked up the milk tea with a straw in his mouth, and sucked it up. Okay, Hong Qianye frowned, what is this guy doing? Su Yonyan and the others looked at each other with extremely strange expressions. Everyone, is junior brother Yi too stressed and a little mentally schizophrenic? The master of hidden sword Peak whispered. Shut up. The master of Jianxian Peak said angrily. Little she. Master, Shu Shu is here. Come here and rub my shoulders. Okay, Bai Xiaoxi ran over and rubbed Ye Junlin's shoulders obediently. Ye Junlin narrowed his eyes comfortably and said calmly, Xiao Hong, you have been in seclusion at Sundial for 200 years. Now that you have come out, do you think you can do it again? Heard, Hong Qianye said sternly, stop talking nonsense, give all the things you got to me, and I can help you. But if you don't want to, just wait here to die. You must know that the world of cultivation is inherently cruel, and killing people to seize treasures is very common. Hong Qianye thinks that as a demonic monk, he has done everything he can to be benevolent and righteous in this matter. As long as he can get what he wants, he can fight off the enemy, torture Ye Junlin severely, get rid of all the anger he suffered before, and then part ways from now on. Sect Master, from what I heard, it seems that this person is willing to help and has some conscience. A Peak Master whispered, after all, a war is imminent, and they also know Hong Qianye's strength. If they can get help from the other party, Xiantian sect may really be able to overcome the predicament. This matter depends on what junior brother Yi wants. Su Yuqing coughed a few times, saying that he would be lying if he said he was not moved from the skills and elixirs they had obtained before, as well as the sundial that could change the flow of time. They had long believed that Ye Junlin had a great opportunity, but because of their relationship with the same sect, they did not ask more questions. Now Hong Qianye directly asked for it face to face and set out conditions, which made everyone curious about how Ye Junlin should choose. Haha. Ye Junlin naturally knew what Hong Qianye meant. However, this is simply impossible because he is bound to a system. The most important thing is that Ye Junlin doesn't take the current crisis seriously at all. Are you so sure that you are stronger than me now? Ye Junlin said with a half-smile. Yes. Hong Qianye said proudly, although you have been suppressing me and wasting my precious training time, I have been practicing at Sundial for 200 years, and I have already surpassed you today in terms of cultivation and strength. Then, his tone was full of lessons, and he said. Ye Junlin, you have come this far, and it was your lack of ambition that ruined you. My generation of monks should work hard and compete with the great Tao. We are not the ones like you who have nothing to do and are idle all day long. So, hand over everything you have and let me carry it forward. I am more suitable than you to inherit this opportunity. At this time, Ye Junlin looked at the former leader of the demon cult in front of him as if he were looking at a fool. He has a system, but he still needs to work hard to practice. Doesn't it taste good when displayed? Hurry up, don't wait any longer. Do you still need me to come and get it? Hong Qianye took a step forward with his hands behind his back, a fierce glare bursting out of his eyes. Boom. Terrible coercion instantly enveloped all directions. Senior brother Hong. Bai Xiaoxi trembled with fright, feeling that the man in front of her had become very strange. Junior brother Yi, don't be so brave. Su Yonyan and the others said nervously with cold sweat on their foreheads. There was a huge explosion outside. Xiantian sect's mountain protecting formation was smashed to pieces, and the majestic energy flow raged wildly, sending countless disciples and elders flying backwards, and screams occurred one after another. Lord Immortal Tree. The enemy's offensive is so fierce that we can't resist it at all. Among them, a foreign creature in the fusion realm screamed. A stream of blood flowed from the corner of his mouth, and there were shocking scars all over his body. Even the aborigines in the Luotian secret realm, with thousands of transformed gods and more than people in the fusion realm, are unable to withstand the attack of the Yuhua sect army outside, which shows how critical the battle situation is. Bai Xiaoxi. looked panicked. Master, what should I do? Ye Junlin, are you still unwilling to hand it over? Or maybe you don't believe that I will help you, Hong Qinya said coldly. Boom. At this moment, a terrifying energy cannon penetrated the sky, heading straight towards Piaomiao Peak with a destructive aura. Presumptuous. Hong Qinya suddenly waved her hand and shouted violently, "Oh!" That terrifyingly powerful energy cannon was changed in trajectory by a sudden and powerful external force, and it suddenly turned a corner and rushed towards the crowd of people in the sky. Rumbling, a bright ball of light bloomed, and the screams were heartbreaking. "Whoever did this, get out and die!" Angry shouts came one after another, and at least dozens of consciousnesses from the fusion realm swept over and gathered on the Piaomiao Peak. Humph! Hong Qinya's figure was like a comet rising in the sky, with her hands behind her back. The aura of her body was unfathomable, her eyes were stern, and she said coldly, "I did it, what can you do to me?" Chapter 39 The Power of the Leader of the Demon Cult. You are listening at novelfull.audio. How dare a prostitute be so arrogant? Let me take care of you. An old voice like a bell sounded. There was a skinny old man wearing the attire of an inner sect elder, with a cruel smile on his face, and he stretched out his palm as fast as a ghost. "You ungrateful ants," Hong Qinya said with anger as veins burst out from her forehead when she heard that she was called a female prostitute. "What?" The screams were horrific, the skinny old man's face was full of fear, and terrifying black flames appeared on his body, and his whole body burned up quickly in mid-air. The big boss in the late stage of the fusion realm was killed so effortlessly. What? The faces of the other Yuhua sect monks changed dramatically. They looked at the tall and red figure, with a flash of extreme shock in their eyes. Hong Qinya, with her hair flying, looked directly at the army of monks in the sky, and said in an unquestionable tone, "Now I give you half a stick of incense, all of you, get out of Huangzhou, or you will die." That the cold voice echoed continuously, ringing deep in everyone's hearts. Many elders showed fear on their faces, but as if they thought of something, they were instantly replaced by strong murderous intent, and they all shouted, "How arrogant! You alone dare to order the number one immortal sect in the eastern region. Everyone, kill this woman." Bloodbath. The Shentian sect, .60 or 70 fusion realm elders took action, either using spiritual weapons and talismans, or using their own special magical powers. In this case, I will go on a killing spree. Hong Qinya's eyes were cold, and she made a secret with her hands, releasing countless green flames all over her body. In an instant, the sound of ghosts crying and wolves howling was everywhere, which was terrifying. Then, dense skulls gathered together, each one the size of a millstone, and surged away with a roaring sound. It's mighty and mighty, like Yin soldiers passing through. Ah! My hand! Get out of the way! Be sure not to get bitten, you will be poisoned. Block it! Stop it! This group of fusion realm elders were beaten to the point of retreat, and 1/3 of them died in just one encounter. This is not over yet. Hong Qinya feels that it is not enough, and he controls a large number of dark green skulls, like locusts ravaging the battlefield crazily. Wherever they went, huge warships were shrouded in flames one after another, and many disciples inside were directly burned to death. Screams, wails, and calls for help filled the sky with extremely noisy sounds. Don't panic, everyone, work together to drive away the evil fire. A prestigious middle-aged elder shouted angrily, holding a cattail leaf surrounded by spiritual energy in his hand. Behind him, his fellow disciples were helping him, pouring mana continuously into him. The middle-aged elder swept away the cattail leaf fan in his hand, blowing up an overwhelming terrifying hurricane to fight against this terrifying skull. Suddenly, there was the sound of chanting from the horizon, and the brilliant Buddha's light illuminated the earth, making people have the idea of following Buddhism. Amitba. On board the simple-looking flying boats, countless meditators clasped their hands together and chanted the Buddha's name. A monk wearing a cassock with a strong aura solemnly said, "Dear donors, Xiankong Temple is here to support you." "Humph, someone else is going to die again," Hong Qinya said disdainfully. "You devil, don't be so arrogant." The Zen practitioners rose into the air and used their magic seals to hit him. A bunch of damn bald asses. Hong Chenya's face was as cold as frost, and she raised her hand to cast a spell, crashing, all the remaining skulls condensed crazily like streams flowing into the sea, and then expanded rapidly. Whoa, a huge skull appeared, letting out a terrifying laugh. Ordinary people are as small as grains of rice in front of it, the terrifying sense of oppression spread like a wave. Go and play with them. Hong Chenya sneered, boom. The super-large skull blocks out the sky and the sun, like a moving fortress. The whole body is burning with green flames, and the temperature is unimaginably high. Grandma Amit, this Buddha is coming. What? Howls like killing pigs came and went. What's ridiculous is that the Zen team of Xiankong Temple suffered huge losses as soon as they appeared. Tens of thousands of monks were swallowed by giant skulls. This scene is extremely visually impactful. You devil, the Buddha will never forgive you. Master Huizhi, who was at the head of the nursing home, had his eyes splitting, having reached the perfect state of integration, his whole body glowed with immeasurable golden light. He raised his hand to strike the Arhat palm print with blazing Buddha light, ready to kill that lawless guy. Even if the Buddha comes, I will slaughter him for you to see. Hong Chenya looked sternly and stretched out her hand to grab it. A terrifying flaming hand formed, blocking the Arhat's palm print, and then turned into several fire dragons with fangs and claws, approaching Master Huizhi crazily. Nye Zhan, you are so bold. Upon hearing this, Master Huizhi was so angry that his lungs were about to explode, and he used all his strength to get rid of these fire dragons. Ah! In less than 2 seconds, the whole person was burned to ashes and disappeared between heaven and earth forever. First seat, that the monk of Xiankong Temple said sadly. Unite all forces and kill this female devil. The elder of the Yuhua sect roared. In an instant, the men and horses of the 2 major forces used all kinds of magic and magical powers, overwhelming the sky and shrouding Hong Chenya. The colorful light is blazing, like a bright sea of stars. The large skull with its whole body burning with ghostly flames was destroyed in mid-air without any suspense. This. Su Yonyan's mouth was dry and his body was cold. Facing the joint attack of Yuhua sect and Xiankong Temple, he would definitely be crushed into powder immediately. With such a majestic energy impact, any combination state will fall. However, Hong Chenya's face was calm, she sneered, raised her hand and made a secret to activate her latest fire magic power. Flames as black as ink burned the void, like a giant mouth of an abyss swallowing up all comers. Vast energy fluctuations swept across, and then slowly dissipated, as if nothing had happened just now. How is this possible? Countless monks had incredible expressions and lost their voices. What a weird fire spell, I've never heard of it. An elder looked horrified. See, even if you all add up, you are no match for me, so you should all die for me. Hong Chenya laughed wildly, her murderous temperament clearly revealed. The sky fell apart and the earth eclipsed the sun when she raised her hand. It is unimaginable that the monks from the 2 major forces were retreating steadily, blood flowed into rivers, and millions of corpses lay buried. That fiery red invincible figure is deeply imprinted in the minds of countless people. This barren state is trembling with fear. The Red Fairy is invincible. Long live the Red Fairy. As expected of Master Yi Feng's disciple, what a terrifying strength. In this way, Xiantian's sect has no worries. That the disciples and elders of Xiantian's sect were stunned, all the alien creatures had shocked expressions on their faces. No wonder Lord Immortal Tree wants to lead them to station here. The strength of this woman alone is extremely terrifying. The most terrifying thing is that the other party is only the disciple of Master Yi. If there was some doubt in the hearts of these creatures before, it is completely gone now. All of them are obedient. Junior brother Yi, the talent of this evil disciple like you is so terrible. Our little Xiantian clan temple cannot tolerate a giant Buddha like him. Su Yonyan was so frightened that he broke into a cold sweat and smiled bitterly. Yes, it really doesn't work. We will try our best to satisfy him with whatever he wants. Don't confront him. It's important to save your life. The master of Hidden Sword Peak couldn't help but feel that he had offended the other party unintentionally before. Afraid, Although Hong Qinya betrayed the master, which was a stain, at the same time he resisted foreign enemies and protected the Xiantian sect. The merits and demerits were balanced, so they had nothing to complain about. The most important thing is that even if you are very angry, you can't beat him. What else can I do? At this time, after seeing Hong Qinya's performance, everyone's thoughts changed. Senior brother Hong is so awesome. Come on, senior brother Hong. Bai Xiaoxi waved her pink fist and cheered excitedly with a rat face. Ye Junlin rubbed his chin. No wonder this guy dares to be so crazy. He dares to kill a fused body like a dog. That he could feel that the cultivation aura exposed by Hong Qinya did not seem to be in the scope of the fusion realm, nor the level of the Mahayana stage, but seemed to be somewhere in between. Open the eyes of insight. Ye Junlin's eyes flickered, staring at the powerful figure in the distance. Suddenly, a virtual character panel appeared in front of my eyes. When he saw that the cultivation column showed half-step Mahayana, Ye Junlin suddenly understood. Half-step to Mahayana, no wonder. After all, Hong Qinya's basic combat power is already strong, and coupled with the advantage of having a realm, he can indeed sweep through the army of practitioners with ease. That's fine. If he comes to deal with me, wouldn't it be natural for me to break through? Ye Junlin said secretly in his heart, the leeks have become fat, so why don't they cut them? Boom! At this time, vast and boundless terrifying auras erupted and were instantly dropped on the battlefield deep in the sky. 18 powerful figures stood in the void with their hands behind their backs, their bodies shrouded in bright and blazing light, and their mouths and noses breathing could arouse the spiritual energy of heaven and earth within a radius of thousands of miles. Looking from a distance, it looks like 18 golden suns stretching across the sky, shining brightly on the world. Chapter 40 Ye Junlin. Just wait here to die. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The monks from the Yuhua sect looked up, as if they had grasped a life-saving straw, and shouted excitedly, "Look! It's the core elders who are here to help us." Each of the core elders holds as important a position in the sect as Mount Tai. They are the unmovable pillar supporting the Yuhua sect, and they are worshipped by countless disciples. Now, in order to suppress the Xiantian sect and show the world the foundation of the Immortal sect in the eastern region, the 18 core elders came in person. Welcome to you all, your lords. Those elders of the fusion realm who were usually well known in the sect were all cautiously bowing their hands, their eyes full of awe. They are both elders, but their status in the Yuhua sect is vastly different. After all, these are the small group of people closest to the top of the sect. At this time, when 18 powerful figures appeared, the entire Huangzhou fell into silence. The birds and beasts were trembling with fear, and there was an unspeakable fear in their hearts. On Misty Peak, Su Yonyan and the others looked horrified and said in disbelief, "Your Majesty, Your Majesty. You know, Mahayana monks are called venerables in the outside world, which also means supreme. Mahayana person can live 5 years. If you put it in other sects, it would be a real old monster. Compared with it in the fusion realm, the difference between the two is like a firefly and a bright moon." Unexpectedly, the Yuhua sect directly sent 18 Mahayana warriors for this battle. What kind of terrifying background is this? No wonder it is known as the strongest immortal sect in the eastern region. While the others were so frightened that their faces turned pale, Ye Junlin's eyes lit up. Good guy, compared to the half-step Mahayana, the real Mahayana realm is more attractive. Faced with Yu Huamen Qianli's practice of giving experience packages, Ye Junlin silently praised this. A bunch of useless trash. Yuhua sect has been completely disgraced by you. Among them, a short, dwarf-like white-haired old man shouted with an angry look on his face. The loud voice was like thunder from the sky, making the monks below feel dizzy. The army of the most powerful immortal sect in the eastern region was beaten to a pulp by a little girl. If we didn't come to supervise the battle in person, wouldn't you make the whole world laugh at you? The speaker was a silver-haired old woman wearing a golden robe and holding a snake-headed crutch. She stared at Hong Qinya coldly, and when she saw the other person's flawless appearance, she suddenly felt jealous deep in her heart. Damn it, she is even more beautiful than the old lady and I were when I was young. Hong Qinya's eyes turned cold. Where did you pull those onions from? How dare you be so disrespectful to me? What did you say? The silver-haired old woman's voice suddenly rose, and her eyes widened with anger. This is an insult to her. Venerable Golden Snake, you can't afford to argue with a dying person. There was a middle-aged man who was as tall as an iron tower and had a strong sense of oppression. He had a condescending attitude and said calmly, "These three are the most prestigious among the core elders, and are also the ones with the strongest cultivation and strength. You alone want to kill me? What a big joke." Hong Qianye sneered. Back then, when he was besieged by immortals all over the sky, he was able to fight his way out. Now, he doesn't take such small scenes seriously at all. Humph, that Ye Junlin is so arrogant that he actually let his disciples come out to deal with us. Isn't he underestimating the Yuhua sect? A core elder said coldly. In that case, let's kill his female disciple first. I want to see if he feels bad if he hides inside. Another disciple said meaningfully. Roll. I have nothing to do with him. Hearing this, Hong Qianye's face was as cold as ice that has never melted for thousands of years, and she said sternly. There is such a deep relationship between master and disciple. If any of you go and capture her for me, I will disfigure the old woman. Then pull out her tongue. The golden snake venerable showed a sinister smile. I come. One of the core elders wanted to take the opportunity to express himself, to mobilize the surging mana in his body, and raised his hand to seal the secret, rumbling, as if there was a millstone turning in the void. A big hand emitting green light stretched out, with a palm width stretching thousands of meters, and with a heavy sense of oppression, it shot towards the target. The one who took action was a strong man from the early stage of Mahayana. He wanted to suppress Hong Qianye in one go. Swish! Hong Qianye sneered and waved her sleeves towards the sky. Countless purple flames soared away instantly, containing terrifying power and disintegrating the giant spirit palm pressing down from above. Crash, the stars are pitter-pattering. The core elder was stunned, and his eyes changed when he looked at Hong Qianye. How could it be shattered so easily? Isn't this person's cultivation in the combined state? Elder Wu, let me help you. Another fellow disciple took action and used Jinyao Wanliu fist. In an instant, the dense golden fist prince rushed away like a rushing torrent. It's just you. Hong Qianye charged up and blasted out a palm. The palm prince of fireworks covered the sky and the sun, and the temperature was about to melt the surface of the earth. Rumble, both sides generate huge energy fluctuations. The golden fist seal gradually disappeared, and this scene shocked everyone. That female devil actually blocked the Lord's attack. On the battlefield, there were screams of surprise. Do you feel it? This person is a half-step Mahayana. The dwarf old man narrowed his eyes. With half a step to block the Mahayana realm, I didn't expect that in this remote and desolate land, there is such a rare genius. The burly man said in a deep voice. Damn it, I can't keep this girl anymore, give it all to me. Kill her. Lord Golden Snake screamed. The other core elders knew that they would lose face if they were dragged down, so they immediately took action to kill Hong Qianye. The boundless energy flow was so vast that the void along the way was almost shattered. The sight is horrifying. I would like to see how capable you are. Hong Qianye stepped on the sky and the earth, and fluttered his fiery red robe. With his hands moving, dozens of fire dragons roared out and roared loudly. When the two sides were fighting, the sun and moon were dim, and the mountains and rivers were shaking. Big tablet palm. Shattering the sky with one finger. Star picker. Fu long fighting technique. Soul-destroying seal. All kinds of magical powers and spells were readily available in the hands of the core elders. Their faces were full of murderous intent, and they were about to kill the formidable enemy in front of them. Bang bang bang. Dozens of fire dragons crisscrossed each other, and their roars were loud and passionate, but they were destroyed one by these core elders. Among those who took action, 9 were in the early stage of Mahayana and 6 were in the middle stage of Mahayana. Hong Qianye's eyes were cold, looking around at the approaching figures, frantically mobilizing the magic power in his body, and with a swish, the red flame surrounding his body turned into a pitch-black flame. The Black flames, emitting wisps of black gas, looked extremely strange. This is the demonic flame of annihilation, with the power of devouring it. Kill. Staring at this strange layer of black fire, everyone suppressed the discomfort in their hearts and all launched their killing moves. Humph. Hong Qianye spread out her arms, her long black hair dancing wildly, and the demonic flames of annihilation around her suddenly boiled, like a black hole swallowing up the spells coming from all around, buzzing. The energy fluctuations are extremely violent and frightening. What? The expressions of the 15 core elders who took action changed. The burly man watching the battle was shocked and moved, resisting the attacks of 15 venerables on your own. Is this something that can be accomplished with half a step of Mahayana? Even I have never seen this kind of talent. The dwarf old man said solemnly. Are you all blind? This is definitely an evil technique. We must get rid of this female devil as soon as possible. Otherwise, there will be endless troubles. Venerable Golden Snake shouted angrily, holding a snakehead crutch in his hand to outline a mysterious talisman formation, and then pointed at Hong Qianye. With a bang, a thick snake-shaped light pillar shattered the void and impacted on the strange black flames. Go! The other two couldn't hold it any longer and used their own methods. With the addition of these 3 people, the pressure has suddenly increased 1,000 times. Damn! Hong Qianye gritted her teeth, and large beads of sweat appeared on her forehead. Although the demonic flame of annihilation has the power to devour, with this level of consumption, the mana in her body will soon bottom out. When the time comes, he will be unable to use spells and his combat power will fall to the bottom, then trouble. Damn it, it's all Ye Junlin's fault for not handing over the secret treasure to me earlier. Hong Qianye cursed inwardly. Who knew that the Yuhua sect would go into such a big fight and directly send 18 Mahayana warriors just to deal with a small sect in a desolate land? It's really killing a chicken with a sledgehammer. Break it for me. Loud shouts resounded through the sky like thunder. I saw the burly man covered in white light, converging on his fist and then exploding out. The sonic boom roared harshly, and the power of the fist penetrated the sky. Zoom level intermediate magical power, Tyrant Fist. Bang! Following the explosion of a huge light group, a fiery red afterimage flew out from high altitude and fell hard on Piamiao Peak. Rumble, mushroom clouds of smoke and dust rose up, and the entire mountain peak trembled violently. Cough cough cough. Hong Qianye struggled to stand up with a grey face and blood streaming from the corner of his mouth. Senior brother Hong, Bai Xiaoxi said worriedly. Ye Junlin held Orlan's grilled wings in his hand, shook his head and sighed. My good disciple, didn't you promise to repel them? Why are you being beaten like a dog now? Master, I'm really disappointed in you. Hurt, feeling the ridicule of the other party's words, Hong Chiba's forehead veins protruded, her cheeks were burning, and she gritted her teeth and said. You still dare to say sarcastic words? At least I can escape unscathed, and you can just wait here to die. As he spoke, he made up his mind to use the secret technique to escape far away. After all, the main target of Yuhua sect is this guy. As for this group of insignificant ants, just leave them to be buried with this shameless guy.